This timeline is crazy, man.
I know. So many things coming at one time.
Not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
No one wants him mentioned.
What's up, everyone? Get ready for a wild ride because this story is nothing short of dramatic. Imagine a courtroom showdown, emotions running high, and tears flowing. Right at the center of it all are the daughters of music mogul Sean Diddy. Combs! That's right! Delilah, Chance, and Jesse are reportedly reaching their breaking point, and the drama is spilling out for the world to see. But what's really happening behind the scenes? Why are these young women allegedly seeking emancipation? And how does it all connect to the mysterious circumstances surrounding their mother, Kim Porter? Let's break it all down.
Just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see it.
Here's the deal. Diddy's daughters, once known for being the quieter, more private members of his family, are now making headlines like never before. For years, they stood by their father's side, attending glamorous events and sharing heartwarming family moments on social media. But now, sources say the trio is ready to break away and forge their own path. And honestly, who could blame them? With their father's name constantly tied to controversy, it's no surprise they might want to distance themselves. But here's the real shock. It's not just about the legal drama or the media frenzy. There's something much deeper at play. The lingering mystery surrounding Kim Porter's passing and the toxic family dynamics that allegedly followed.
Well, Kim Porter, that is Diddy's ex, who's also the mother of his 3 of his children,
Right.
has detailed the alleged abuse that she suffered at his hands.
Oh, no.
And this is all in a memoir.
Let's rewind to 2018, the year Kim Porter, Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of 3 of his children, tragically passed away. Official reports stated she succumbed to pneumonia, but suspicions of foul play have lingered ever since. Now, those whispers are turning into full-blown allegations, thanks to leaked details from her autopsy report. Kim was reportedly in good health just days before her sudden passing. So how did things take such a drastic turn? That's the question on everyone's mind. And adding even more fuel to the fire are claims that a casket was allegedly ordered for Kim a full week before her death. Like, what? Who does that? Details like this have conspiracy theorists and insiders alike calling for a deeper investigation, but things only get murky. At the time of Kim's passing, her personal belongings, her laptop, phone, and other electronics have mysteriously disappeared. You'd think someone with her resources and connections would have had these items within reach, right? Yet they were nowhere to be found. Then there's the autopsy report. While officials didn't formally suspect foul play, certain unsettling details like unexplained discoloration on her skin and unusual contusions have sparked more questions than answers. Now, people are asking, was this really a natural passing, or is there something much darker at play?
And it's like, it was the same thing Kim was going through. The same thing, bro. Kim was going through the same thing. The beatings, you know what I'm saying?
Now, imagine being one of Kim Porter's daughters and growing up surrounded by these whispers and allegations. Even if you're unsure what to believe, the constant speculation about your mother's life and untimely passing would undoubtedly take an emotional toll. And that's not all. There are also the disturbing allegations surrounding Diddy himself. From claims of controlling behavior to shocking accusations of emotional and physical mistreatment, it's clear that this family's reality is far from the picture-perfect image often portrayed in the media. Allegedly, Diddy's treatment of Kim during their relationship was so turbulent that it left lasting scars on their children, who witnessed it firsthand. One insider even claimed that Kim once confided in friends about her fear that Diddy might harm her. If true, it's no surprise that his daughters are now reportedly seeking distance.
Do I think, yeah. Every man possibly is capable. I think he's very capable of doing it. It's in his character. That's who he is. That's what comes with power. That's what comes with arrogance. That's what comes with, what makes him, power. That's just the selfishness to make you be like that.
But here's the twist. This isn't just about the past. It's about what's happening right now. Following Diddy's arrest and ongoing legal trial, the dynamics within his family have reportedly shifted in a major way. At first, his children appeared to stand by his side, showing their support both in court and on social media. But in recent months, that once united front seems to have crumbled. During Diddy's most recent court appearance, only his sons, Justin and Christian, were present. His daughters were nowhere to be seen, and the changes don't stop there. Family members who once posted coordinated birthday messages and public displays of love have gone noticeably silent. Now insiders claim those moments were never genuine to begin with, that they were staged, scripted efforts to gain public sympathy. If that's true, it makes this entire situation even more heartbreaking.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily, so I guess right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
For Diddy's daughters, this public unraveling of their family appears to be the breaking point. Rumors suggest they've been meeting with attorneys to explore the legal steps needed to emancipate themselves from their father's control. And honestly, who could blame them? Imagine being a teenager or young adult and watching your family's darkest secrets play out in the headlines for the world to see. Sources close to the family say the daughters are deeply hurt, not just by the allegations against their father, but also by how their family has been handled in the aftermath of Tim's passing.
Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active, even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued, like we talked about prior to.
And speaking of Kim, let's take a moment to talk about her legacy. Kim Porter was known as a loving and devoted mother who always put her children first. Those who knew her best have described her as kind, warm, and incredibly resilient. Someone who tried to see the good in people, even in the most challenging times. But her relationship with Diddy was far from smooth. Insiders paint a picture of a tumultuous dynamic filled with emotional highs and devastating lows. Allegedly, Diddy's controlling behavior often left Kim feeling trapped, and she confided in friends that their arguments could escalate to dangerous levels. One particularly shocking claim comes from someone who worked closely with the couple. They recalled a night when a heated argument spiraled into a full-blown fight, with objects being thrown across the room. Despite the chaos, Kim was said to stand her ground, but it's clear that these moments left a deep and lasting impact.
Because Kim had took the cork, where you open up wine, the corkscrew. She took the corkscrew and caught him on his wrist, defending himself, and he almost, I know he tore some ligament, but he almost hit an artery or came close to the artery, or either scratched it or cut it a little bit, because he just kept bleeding.
Fast forward to today, and Kim Porter's name is back in the headlines. This time due to a leaked memoir that allegedly reveals explosive details about her life with Diddy. While the legitimacy of the book has been widely debated, it reportedly contains shocking claims of mistreatment, manipulation, and even fear for her life. Diddy's legal team has dismissed the book as a complete fabrication, but that hasn't stopped it from becoming a bestseller and reigniting conversations about Kim's life and tragic passing. And here's the twist. Kim's own children, including Diddy's daughters, have publicly denounced the book, calling it a hurtful lie. Still, some fans and conspiracy theorists aren't convinced. They point to the book's suspicious timing and its eerie alignment with other disturbing allegations against Diddy, questioning whether there's more truth to the story than some would like to admit.
He get trafficking because he took her to different states and had her perform acts with different, male and different people, sometimes against her will.
It's hard not to feel for Diddy's daughters in all of this. They've been thrust into the spotlight in a way no one could have prepared them for. On one hand, they're still mourning the loss of their mother and grappling with the lingering questions surrounding her passing. On the other, they're watching their father face some of the most serious allegations imaginable, all while trying to navigate their own identities and figure out where they stand. If the rumors about their plans for emancipation are true, it could mark a major turning point, not just for them, but for the entire Combs family. But here's the thing. The story doesn't end with Diddy's daughters allegedly walking away. In fact, it only gets messier from here. Now, let's talk about what's happening with Diddy's legal matters and the role his sons are reportedly playing in all of this. If you thought the daughter's rumored emancipation was dramatic, wait. Justin and Christian Combs have now been pulled into the public eye with allegations suggesting they're not just supporting their father. They may be directly involved in some of the most shocking accusations yet. And trust me, this is the kind of revelation that makes you question everything you thought you knew about this man.
Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff.
These individuals allegedly included high-ranking executives, personal assistants, security personnel, and household staff. Now, let's talk about the court appearance. For months, Diddy has been fighting tooth and nail to secure bail, offering everything from private security to massive assets as collateral. But so far, nothing is new. Why? Prosecutors argue that he poses a danger to the community and simply can't be trusted to follow the rules. And honestly, the evidence they presented is pretty shocking. For starters, they claim Diddy has been using three-way calls from prison to communicate with people he's legally barred from contacting by persuading other inmates to let him use their phone account. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it doesn't end there. Allegedly, Diddy has also been instructing his family to pass along messages to potential witnesses, pressuring them to stay quiet or even change their story. If true, this kind of behavior is exactly why the courts keep shutting down his bail requests.
This is very significant just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
But here's something that hasn't gotten nearly as much attention. Prosecutors allege that Diddy isn't just using these calls to reach witnesses. He's also reportedly trying to manipulate public opinion from behind bars. Sources claim that Diddy has been working with his team to craft social media campaigns designed to sway potential jurors. Remember those highly polished birthday videos from his kids? Prosecutors argue they weren't spontaneous at all, but rather part of a carefully orchestrated PR strategy. Allegedly, Diddy even monitored engagement in these posts, tracking likes and comments to gauge public sentiment. And it gets even wilder. There are whispers that Diddy is using coded language, not just in phone calls, but in written correspondence as well. Insiders say investigators have flagged certain letters and emails where seemingly harmless phrases may carry hidden meaning. For instance, a casual mention of recycling might actually refer to destroying evidence, while talk of family gatherings could be code for secret strategy meetings. These claims are still under investigation, but if they hold up, they paint a picture of someone who's not just fighting for his freedom, but actively trying to outmaneuver the legal system at every turn. It's a high-stakes game, and so far it doesn't seem to be working in his favor.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witness.
Meanwhile, the sheer scale of the investigation is staggering. Authorities are reportedly sifting through massive amounts of evidence, including financial records, text messages, and even security footage from Diddy's property. They've also seized multiple electronic devices, which some believe could contain highly incriminating information. One source close to the case described the process as peeling back layers of an onion, with each new discovery leading to even more unanswered questions. Some of the evidence is said to be so sensitive that it's being reviewed in private, away from prying eyes. If true, this raises the stakes even higher and suggests that we may only be scratching the surface of what's really going on.
But there's also strategic reasons for the prosecutors to want him to have co-defendants, because right now he hasn't waived his right to a speedy trial, which would force prosecutors to take him to trial pretty quick, which they actually might not be ready to do. But if they supersede him and have co-defendants with him, it makes it a lot easier to pursue a trial continuance without him waiving his speedy trial right.
But there are also strategic reasons why prosecutors might want Diddy to have co-defendants. Right now, he hasn't waived his right to a speedy trial, which means prosecutors would have to take the case to court fairly quickly, something they might not be fully prepared for. However, if they supersede him with co-defendants, it becomes much easier to push for a trial continuance without him having to waive that right. But here's where things get even more complicated. Reports suggest that Diddy's sons Justin and Christian aren't just supportive family members. Allegedly, they're actively helping him cover his tracks. A leaked phone call between Diddy and Justin has been making the rounds, and it's raising serious questions. In the call, Diddy reportedly uses coded language telling Justin to get rid of the leftover pizza boxes. Now, let's be real, no one believes he's actually talking about pizza. Insiders claim this was a reference to disposing of evidence that could be damaging to his case, and it doesn't stop there. According to these same sources, Justin and Christian have allegedly been tasked with cleaning up their father's mess, both literally and figuratively.
So it's just another form to silence a man, to humble a person. You know how sometimes you got to humble somebody?
You're right.
Yeah, I think he's being humbled right now, which it took a long time. It takes a long time to humble an arrogant person.
But why would they risk getting involved in something so messy? Some say it's about loyalty. Others believe it's because they've grown up in an environment where this kind of behavior has been normalized. Remember, Justin and Christian were raised in a world of luxury and power, watching their father navigate the highs and lows of fame. If the allegations were true, it's possible they've been conditioned to believe that protecting the family name comes above all else. And honestly, that's just tragic. Speaking of tragedy, let's talk about the mounting lawsuits against the Combs family. Diddy isn't the only one facing legal trouble. His sons have been named in several cases as well. One particularly explosive lawsuit comes from producer Rodney Jones, who claims he was coerced into participating in some of the very activities Diddy is accused of orchestrating. According to Jones, Justin played a direct role in arranging these situations and was even responsible for recruiting participants. If these allegations hold any truth, they paint a deeply disturbing picture of a family entrenched in a culture of exploitation.
It was all, insecurities. Anytime a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity. So when you see someone doing that, you can imagine everything else they do.
And then there's Christian, who is facing his own set of troubling accusations. One lawsuit alleges that he acted inappropriately toward a woman during an event hosted by his father. The suit further claims that this wasn't an isolated incident, but rather part of a larger pattern, one that was allegedly enabled by the toxic environment Diddy created. Again, these are just allegations, but the fact that both of Diddy's sons are being named in lawsuits alongside him is telling. It suggests that whatever is happening within the Combs family isn't just about one person, it's systemic. Now, let's pivot back to Diddy himself, because his legal team has been working overtime to suppress evidence and control the narrative. One of their key arguments, that the search warrants used to raid his home were unconstitutional. They claim that authorities presented a distorted version of events to obtain those warrants, leaving out crucial details and relying on questionable sources. Whether this argument will hold up in court remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Diddy's team is pulling out all the stops to get this evidence thrown out.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
There already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
But here's the thing. Even if Diddy's legal team manages to suppress some of the evidence, the damage to his reputation is already done. The media coverage has been relentless, and public opinion is rapidly turning against him. At this point, it's hard to see how he makes a comeback. Between the abuse allegations, the lingering questions surrounding Kim Porter's passing, and now the lawsuits involving his son, it feels like the walls are closing in. Even some of his most loyal fans are beginning to question whether they can continue to stand by him.
Sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
And what about the rest of Diddy's family? His mother, Janice Combs, has been noticeably absent from recent court appearances, in stark contrast to her earlier public displays of support. Insiders say she's devastated by everything unfolding and is struggling to reconcile the son she knows with the serious allegations against him. As for Diddy's youngest daughter, Love, she's far too young to understand what's happening, but you have to wonder, how will all of this affect her as she grows up? Will she be forced to hear the same rumors and allegations that have haunted her older sibling? It's a heartbreaking thought.
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, you know, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the...
And then there's the question of Kim Porter's legacy. As more details emerge about her life and her relationship with Diddy, her name has become a rallying cry for those seeking justice. Friends and family members are speaking out, demanding a renewed investigation into her passing and accountability for anyone who may have been involved. Even Kim's ex-husband, Al B. Sher, has joined the fight, using his platform to push for answers and raise awareness. It's clear that Kim's story isn't over. Her memory remains a powerful force in this ongoing saga. So where does that leave her? Honestly, it feels like we're watching a real-life soap opera unfold in slow motion. Each day brings new revelations, fresh allegations, and even more unanswered questions. Will Diddy's daughters follow through with their plans to emancipate? Will his sons face legal consequences for their alleged involvement? And what about Diddy himself? Can he clear his name? Or is this the beginning of the end for one of the most iconic figures in music history? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this and other breaking celebrity scandals.